It's been yet another 2 to 3 weeks since I had posted a video on this channel, and I was beating myself up quite a bit. But then I saw something. Asmongold finally put his foot way into his mouth, and it was going to happen. It was bound to happen. When you give your opinions on everything as your main occupation, you'll eventually slip up. Regarding what he said there, he has since apologized and he stepped down from his leadership positions. Likely going to take a hiatus. Asmongold's ability to yap his head off is quite respectable, but he's been doing it every day for the past several years. Every now and then, he's gonna say something that people will not like, and it really depends on how many people don't like whatever he says. I also came up with something here. This was yesterday, I think, or like this morning. I called it the Peter Principle for Yappers. If yapping is your livelihood, whether you're a podcaster, live streamer, radio host, or so on, and you have to bear your opinions on a regular basis, you'll soon yap yourself to your level of ignorance. You know what the Peter Principle is, right? If you keep getting promoted in your job, you'll soon get promoted to your level of incompetence. That's why we have a lot of shitty managers out there. And in the case of people who yap for a living, they will soon reach their level of ignorance. This became true for Joe Rogan. It recently became true for Asmongold. And it will soon happen to you if you're not careful. So you gotta resist the urge to churn them out. Being prolific and consistent should not be the same as being careless and inconsiderate. Also, you don't need an opinion on everything. Come on. You know those people on Twitter who crucify anyone who doesn't have an opinion on insert hot topic here? They must be bad people if they don't care about it? Yeah, fuck those people. That's pretty much why Twitter is such a hell site. The best thing you can do in the face of that is to admit to not knowing enough to have an opinion. Then going about your life, do something more productive. That is way better than being a midwit. What is a midwit? Someone who's beset by Dunning-Kruger syndrome. That's why they reach their level of ignorance. And I'm kind of an Asian Asmongold, not in terms of fame, but more in terms of lifestyle. Although, I do have better hygiene. Like, I just got out of the shower half an hour ago. And I'm now trying to do this yapping thing myself. And you can't go too fast or you'll have an accident. It's like riding a bike. You gotta pump the brakes. I felt a little bit better about myself because, this is the reason why I shouldn't be cranking out these videos en masse. Even if I absolutely can, and maybe I should so that, I can get some growth in my channel. Maybe. I don't want to give in to the YouTube grind, especially if my life really does not depend on it. For a lot of people, their lives depend on it because YouTube and monetized content becomes their main source of livelihood. Luckily, I don't have to resort to that because yapping for a living is hard. And I'm a pro wrestling commentator, talking while you're even just being recorded. It's even more difficult if you have to do it on camera. And even more difficult if you have to do it to a live crowd, like, public speaking, I used to not know why you would have a fear of public speaking, and then I became an adult, and then I understood. And I'm neurodivergent, so, of course I wouldn't understand at first. And not cranking out these videos, it may be slowing down my potential growth. But you know what? I'd rather eventually get to there at 70 years old than burn out at 40 years old. And I'm 38, so, it's there. But it seems like everyone is in a hurry. And I can't blame them, but I'm still trying to reconcile with the fact that I can't please everyone. We can't please everyone. Having read the comments in my past couple of videos, that video I did about the mainland Chinese people, that was being called rage bait. And how is it rage bait? I'm just talking about my everyday experience. Like, I lived a life. I'm not just talking about stuff that I don't know anything about. It's my life, but apparently it's rage bait. So, it does upset me. It does. I'm still trying to rectify with the fact that I can't please everyone, that there will be people who will denounce and hate me for shallow reasons or even no reason at all. I'm just making videos on YouTube, and Facebook. But then I came across a saying. It does give me a little bit of comfort, from the movie to the wonder. starring Javier Bardem. The man who makes a mistake can repent, but the man who hesitates, who does nothing, who buries his talent in the earth, with him, he can do nothing. He's talking about Jesus, and how he can forgive. Yeah, a man can make a mistake and, they can repent for their mistake. They can learn from their mistake and they can repent. The person who does nothing and pats himself on the back for being a good person because they do no wrong, but they also do no right. So yeah, you know what? I should be making these videos. I have the ability to, and maybe I can share a few tidbits that may help people. I don't know. I still have to make videos eventually, especially since I have all of this equipment. I have this camera, I have this phone, this tablet in which I write my notes. Here are my notes. I don't yap freestyle. I never yap freestyle. I always prepare notes, bullet points, scripts. You may criticize me for needing a script. He's scripted, he's not for real, no, it actually makes it real because I write my own damn scripts. I write my own talking points. I think about what I say. Thus, wouldn't it make my yapping more sincere because I plan it ahead? Come on. And this is a hobby of mine, but I want to take it seriously. I want to take this hobby seriously. I want to be able to enjoy it and take it seriously at the same time. And not just say I have an interest in it. I got to execute. There is this lingering drive within me to create output, to make art or, make something like this, or even just write on my crummy blog, avoider.net, if you want to read my writings. I got to post something soon. I haven't posted in a long time. Whenever I wake up, I think about it every day. I got to make something. The anxiety of making something and then, getting a negative reaction out of it for some arbitrary reason. Maybe I said something wrong. I said something off base. For whatever reason, like social media, you get denounced for whatever. Then it got me thinking, how can I make stuff and be prolific while minimizing falling flat on my face? And it's this, it's writing notes, man. You need to deliberately prepare for each and every piece of content you make. Every piece of media, every text you write, every video you produce. You may think that you can just wing it, that maybe you're one of those people who are talented enough to just, go off the cuff, get in the zone and just freestyle. Maybe you're one of those people. I'm not one of those people. I don't have that ability, and if I ever get good at this somehow, with doing it enough, get my 10,000 hours, those arbitrary 10,000 hours. I know it's not for real, it's a oversimplification, but you know what, 10,000 hours. If I ever get good at this, I must resist the urge to get lazy and skip these steps, take shortcuts, skip preparation in order to streamline my process. No, I should not. I gotta go through this. I gotta make these outlines, right? I gotta plan ahead. I gotta think about what I'm going to say. Whether it's making these videos, whether it's writing, even, just those crummy blog posts. Even in commentating in pro wrestling. I talked about it in my video about pro wrestling commentary. I prepare notes for each and every single show. Or at least think about what I'm going to say for every match. I plan ahead. Or even just ring announcing. I write my index cards, Even if I do memorize the stats for every wrestler and I get really familiar with them, I could go off the cuff. I still write my index cards, my cue cards, and I hold them while I'm announcing to make sure I don't make a mistake and to minimize the chances of making a mistake. I gotta do it each and every single time because it's me showing that I am sincere about what I do. I am sincere about everything I say, right? It is an act of sincerity. Even if I get good enough that I don't need to do it anymore, I will still have to do it because preparation. I take it very seriously. So, how do I prepare for these videos? Like this video right here. I write my notes. Now I'll just put it here. Yeah, there we go. I got A. This is my Notion. I got A, and then I got B, and I got C. I work in threes. For each part, I have 3 major bullet points, and each major bullet point has minor bullet points. 3. Sometimes it's 5. Write about it, I think about it, and I like doing it. I get anxious about getting myself to do it, but once I hit record and I start talking, it starts feeling good, and then I get the files into my computer to edit, and then the editing is, I really enjoy the editing. I super, super enjoy the editing. In fact, it's the reason why I make these videos, so that I get to edit. Maybe I should be an editor for other people. No, I don't enjoy editing other people's stuff. I only enjoy editing my own stuff. So, and then also sometimes I would even rehearse. You know, before I hit record, I actually rehearse what I'm going to say. And sometimes I think it's a waste of time, but sometimes if it's going to be a really serious video, I actually rehearse. You know, it's not a bad thing to do. You get your reps in. But of course, you know, preparation is great, but I still gotta execute, and I still gotta balance out that deliberate action with speed. So my usual procedure is to record, edit, upload, and publish these talking head videos, videos like this, within an hour. That was my old standard, and maybe now it's 2 hours. Like right now, after recording this, I gotta go cook. You know, I gotta cook dinner. So I'm not gonna be able to make it in an hour, but maybe 3 hours later. I gotta be able to post it. It's 4:25 p.m. right now. But the pre-production, the coming up with the topics, creating these outlines, and the research, all of that, I take as long as I need to. Usually 3 to 4 days. You know, I plan ahead. And each one of these short videos, I think, will take around 2 to 3 hours to make. You know, including the recording, the editing and all that, and the making outlines for it. And maybe some people may think, you know, like all that work for like a video that's under or just about 10 minutes, that's kind of tedious. Why don't you do it like people who stream, you know, like Asmongold, who just yaps, and then, you know, an editor cuts up the VODs. Well, now we know. I think that the time I take to make each video is necessary. I really do think so. Those who think it's not necessary, I think they're idiots. And sure, I'm not cranking out content and, you know, maximizing my growth, but you know what? I think you're an idiot if you think that. Because I think what you gotta do is, you gotta fall in love with the process. You gotta be deliberate, you know, because nowadays we're inundated by all this content, all this media, all the text. It's text in academic speak. Inundated by live streams and podcasts and TikToks, and we're just inundated with content on feeds being blasted. And I am reminded of a quote by the novelist and literary critic Milan Kundera. I'm gonna read it here. And the language he uses here is pretty goddamn deep. It's like, ugh. He uses a lot of big words. The irresistible proliferation of graphomania shows me that everyone, without exception, bears a potential writer within him, or, you know, content creator as they're called these days, so that the entire human species has good reason to go down into the street and shout, "We are all writers!" Or in this case, we are all content creators. For everyone is pained by the thought of disappearing, unheard and unseen, myself included, I do feel that, into an indifferent universe. And because of that, everybody wants, while there's still time, to turn himself into a universe of words. Just like Asmongold, just like me. One morning, and it will be soon, when everybody wakes up as a writer, the age of universal deafness and incomprehension will have arrived. And I agree. The irresistible proliferation of graphomania. That's a cool word he uses there, graphomania, because it is a mania. It is a mania of content. And it leads me to another quote of his, which I learned about from an acquaintance of mine who studied comparative literature. The work is what the writer will approve in his final assessment. For life is short, reading is long, and literature is in the process of killing itself off through an insane proliferation. Every novelist, starting with his own work, should eliminate whatever is secondary, lay out for himself and for everyone else the ethic of the essential. If you are a content creator, it is your job to edit and curate whatever you spew out, whatever you put out. You have to curate your output. Put your best foot forward. You put out only your best work. If you really are serious about whatever your output is, if you really are serious about your yapping, your opinions, you have to prepare and you have to plan ahead and you have to then curate and delete whatever you think is not good. And or even better, don't post anything you're not really sure of, And minimize posting even. Like, you don't have to post every goddamn thought that comes through your head. I know that's what Twitter is for, but come on. Twitter/X is now owned by that guy. Social media is being run by, these people who are supposedly the most brilliant among us, but also the most morally derelict among us. But yeah, when we consider these words of Milan Kundera, we should start understanding why all the great writers throughout history, they tend to have their drafts and leftover manuscripts burned or hidden. Like Franz Kafka, for instance, infamous for having all his other works turned to ashes. Now I'm starting to understand more and more, it wasn't a waste. If they're not proud of whatever that was, yeah, they should have the right to, burn them, put them to the torch. Easy content is good for business and clout, but high effort content has more long-lasting impact. Because content made with ample preparation should be able to better withstand scrutiny. It is the creator's best foot forward, even if audiences don't get to fully understand how much work is put into it. That's fine. If they don't get to know, every bit of struggle you went through in that process, you know what? It should be fine. Because in the end, if the final product is good, then you have something to be proud of, right? Every time you go through that tedious process, the better you get at it, hopefully, and the more you understand how it adds substance to whatever you yap about, whatever you write about, whatever you make content about. Because it's not just yapping, it's actual sharing of your thoughts, feelings, knowledge, experiences, your stories, and so on. You gotta fall in love with the process and not just the result. Preparation should be part of the process, and loving it greatly helps with a long-term result. And yes, I'm reading off of this script, these bullet points, and you know what? I'm gonna stand by it. Yeah, this shit is scripted. I'm proud of it being scripted because the world is too preoccupied with short-term results. We're just freestyling it, we're just winging it, and calling it talent. But you know what? I question your bravado. Because sometime, you're going to slip up. But I believe differently. Because the present is eternal. The future becomes the present in perpetuity. And the act of preparation through the prism of patience and the strength of one's deliberate action and sincerity is done in respect of that eternal now. It is always now. And my work, this video, and whatever else I churn out, they ebb and flow with it. They ebb and flow with that passage of time. Hopefully, if I've done well enough, my work, my content, my yapping, it will stand the test of time. At least I hope so. That's all for now. Till next time, stay Tor.